and welcome to the Webcast for Tuesday, June 23rd. I'm South Office meteorologist Jonathan O'Brien. Visible satellite this morning shows that the marine layer is similar to or slightly less deep than yesterday, with the marine clouds likely to once again clear quickly this morning. Meanwhile, we also have a few mid-level altocumulus clouds sneaking into the region from the south, an indicator that mid-level moisture is on the increase. Here's a look at our overnight humidity recoveries. They were generally a little lower than the previous night, but still almost entirely in the good category outside of the deserts. High pressure is continuing to strengthen over the desert southwest, and so we're going to continue our warming trend today. Here's a look at the forecast highs. We'll be several degrees above average for this time of year, with most of the valleys getting into the 90s and most desert areas well into the triple digits. Tomorrow will be similar to or slightly warmer than today as high pressure reaches its peak intensity. Minimum humidity will be mainly between 12 and 25% above and inland from the marine layer influence over the next couple of days, with the marine layer still providing significant relief near the coastal areas despite some reduction in its depth. Winds will be on the light side today and Wednesday, with local and terrain effects dominating, though onshore flow will start to increase with a little more breeziness through the gaps and passes. Another thing we're watching for today and into tomorrow is potential lightning activity associated with a weak monsoonal disturbance moving in from the south. Mid-level moisture will continue to increase today, and isolated showers and thunderstorms are possible across Southern California from late this afternoon through Wednesday afternoon, mainly along and southeast of the I-15 corridor, but possibly extending slightly northwest of it. The amount of lightning continues to look fairly limited, but there is a little bit stronger signal in the modeling today for at least some lightning to occur. And any storms would tend to be fast-moving and dry due to faster than normal mid-level winds and very dry low-level air despite the increasing moisture higher up in the atmosphere. Because of this, we do have a fair degree of concern for lightning fire starts with this activity, especially in and around the Mojave Preserve, but potentially as far south as the Riverside and San Diego County mountains. With that in mind, we have added high-risk significant fire potential highlights for dry lightning concerns over the eastern mountains and central Mojave PSAs, with the southern mountains left out due to lightning expected to be too limited there. While this setup is not a slam dunk, the risk is high enough that these highlights appear to be warranted, and they are in effect for both today and tomorrow, although the primary risk period will be from very late this afternoon through about midday on Wednesday. While the next couple of days will feel more like summer, we continue to eye a major pattern change late this week and into next week. This strong desert southwest high will quickly be replaced by an unseasonably deep Pacific troughing pattern which will likely linger over the west well into next week, bringing a major and long-lasting cool-down. The pattern change will be somewhat gradual. We'll see a slow cooling trend begin on Thursday, but even by Friday we'll have only cooled close to normal for this time of year. And while the marine layer will start to deepen, it will still remain warm, dry, and increasingly windy above and inland from the marine influence. Speaking of winds, they will start to increase notably on Thursday and remain quite strong through the weekend. Southwest to northwest winds of 20 to 30 miles per hour with gusts to 50 miles per hour will surface across the mountain ridges and through the desert passes during that time, and these winds will likely be quite widespread given the strength of this trough, with a potential for a period of even stronger winds by Friday or Saturday. The increasing winds and lingering dryness will likely at least bring some localized fire weather issues later this week despite the cooling trend. However, the cooling trend will then tend to win the battle by later this weekend. Here's a look at the forecast highs by Sunday. Temperatures will dive to around 10 to 15 degrees below normal, with valley highs only in the 70s to mid-80s. Unseasonably cool conditions with a deep marine layer will likely linger well into next week, and winds should tend to slacken off as well. This will likely bring us an extended period of below normal fire potential for at least most of next week. Dead fuel moistures will mostly be on falling trends over the next couple of days, then see renewed increases late this week and especially into the weekend with the cooler weather. Most fire danger indices are running relatively close to normal for this time of year, though most live fuel moistures do continue to run at least a couple of weeks to as much as 6 weeks ahead of schedule on their seasonal curing trends. So in terms of fire potential, it will be a two-pronged threat today and tomorrow. The warm and dry conditions will bring a continued risk for a new large fire on well-aligned starts, even in the absence of any critical fire weather, and steady light to moderate initial attack activity will continue. And then there's also the potential lightning component over Southern California from late today into tomorrow as well. Again, that's a little less certain, but definitely something to pay close attention to. By Friday and Saturday, fire potential should start to decrease overall due to the cooling temperatures, but localized areas of elevated fire weather will likely present themselves due to the increased winds. Then by Sunday and into next week, potential should fall further as the temperatures become much below normal and winds lessen up. That's it for today's webcast. Thanks for joining us. Next one will be on Wednesday, June 24th.